Easy to see the major impacts red tide is having on our beachgoers and the fish, but what about its effects on other marine and wildlife?
ABC 7's Taylor Torregano sat down with Mote Marine and Save Our Seabirds to find out how many sea turtles and birds have been killed or sickened by those toxins. She joins us now live with a look at those numbers. Taylor?
Good evening, Jacqueline Scott. Tonight, Mote tells me 137 sea turtles have either been rescued or recovered this year alone. Unfortunately, most in that number were already dead. But tonight, 10 remain here at Mote Marine Laboratory in the hospital under care by Mote. In the middle of nesting season, it's not unusual for the Suncoast to see thousands of new sea turtles. But what is unusual? The number of those turtles that we're losing, too.
This year so far, we have rescued or recovered a total of 137 sea turtles. A lot of those were already deceased. Some of them were affected by humans, like boat strikes or entanglements in fishing gear, but some of them are suspected to have been affected by the ongoing red tide bloom.
Mote says it's hard to say exactly how many died as a result of red tide, but those still alive and affected by red tide have symptoms that are clear to see.
Sea turtles can be affected and become disoriented in the water, unable to move properly, uncoordinated. It's possible for them to be unable to swim properly, to drown, to be vulnerable to other things in their environment.
10 turtles still remain in Mote's Sea Turtle Rehabilitation Hospital, and just across the way, nonprofit Save Our Seabirds is preparing for the same effects too.
Sometimes it'll take 2 to 3 weeks before we see impacts. A lot of the birds that we'll see at first are the small shorebirds, and then the diving birds like the cormorants.
Even the smell surrounding the bird cages is strong from dead fish in the area. So the AVN hospital administrator says she's very surprised they haven't gotten one dead or distressed bird like they have in past years.
The cormorants will dive through the water, and they're basically diving right through the blooms. So they're getting it in their eyes and their faces and their mouths. You know, they don't necessarily have to ingest a fish in order to get the red tide.
Now, if you're at the beach and see a dead bird, Save Our Seabirds encourages you to report it to the county. But if you're there and you see a bird that could be affected by red tide, you'll notice they are having difficulty walking or seem dazed. In that case, you are asked to pick them up, rescue them, and bring them here to the location that's right next to Mote Marine Laboratory. Now I'm live here at Mote Marine. Taylor Torregano, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.